Back in 2012, Marvel was doing a few things with the Avengers. We'd gotten into the heroic age, and Brian Michael Bendis had relaunched New Avengers, Luke Cage's team, to do what he wants. We had the core Avengers team, but what we didn't have was a movie-friendly team. So what is happening right about now? It's the Avengers assembling in theaters on May the 4th, 2012, and we need a comic book that's going to connect to that. So let's see how that goes. Hey everybody, this is Perch. Avengers Assemble #1 was listed as an ongoing series, but everybody kind of suspected it wasn't going to be an ongoing series. It was billed as a new title, but it was clearly aimed at the movie because the roster was Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Hulk, Captain America, and it was very much a movie-friendly team. But was still being written by Brian Michael Bendis, ultimately be taken over by Kelly Sue DeConnick. I want to say Mark Warren Ellis did something there, but that may not have been the case. Mark Bagley was the penciler, so it was very much a kind of Marvel mainstay team. And this was designed from everything from the tagline to the trade dress to everything to be a comic book that was supposed to fit in the Marvel universe with the other comics, but also kind of simultaneously be something that was very familiar for movie audiences to understand. So Bendis, and by the way, during this time, the Marvel Creative Council is giving advice to Kevin Feige and everything else. So there's this attempt to kind of make, I think this was on the comic end, a way to make good in the other direction. That hey, we're going to come out with a title that's very synergistic to the movies. So we kick right in with a new villainous threat. It is Zodiac, and so we have the different. This is very much for they've all got kind of matching outfits and matching logos and things, and they're talking about Zodiac's coming up with an evil plot, a plot that's going to help take over the Earth, and they're going to people will stand in awe over this group. More or less, Zodiac is an established team, established villainous team in the Marvel Universe. This was not quite that team. It's just a different way. Definitely has the shadowy people talking with a speechifying of what they're going to do. So it's both. This is definitely Bendis. Definitely feels like what Bendis was doing at the Marvel Universe at the time. And if you're a comic reader or a non-comic reader watching the movies, it gets familiar. So we move into a lot of very movie-friendly scenes. We get the Avengers Tower. There's a worldwide celebration because the tower is open for business, thousands of people around the world, and on and on. This tower does not have Asgard sitting on top of it, like was also going on in comics at the time. Following Siege, there was a brief little bit where part of Asgard was going to be, sitting out there on top of the Avengers Tower. That kind of just got dropped at one point, as I recall, or maybe it got blown up. Who knows? But anyway, we get a nice speech. Captain America's doing his thing. These are definitely the comic book Avengers, because we've got Black Panther. He hadn't debuted yet. We still have Miss Marvel. Wolverine is there, the Red Hulk, and so on. But very quickly, the action focuses in on the movie team. And so we get a sequence out of the Hulk hanging out in the desert, because that's what he does. He's a desert guy. Hulk is Arizona, red and blue. And the army is, on Hulk. Now, this wasn't exactly how Hulk was. Hulk's doing the Hulk no talk like this kind of dialogue. And he is, this army convoy is attacked. And Hulk shows up to save them, very much like Avengers #1 from the 60s. But it looks like he's causing the problems. But really it's Zodiac, so he fights with the members of Zodiac, and he's kind of, the army's fighting him too. So everything is bad. And it's kind of the Hulk is blamed that he was partially responsible here. And that the package is gone. They've escaped. The army's saying your friend took something. It wasn't him. So the Hulk gets kind of framed for this problem, and they should call in the Avengers. The Avengers are going to get a call. Meanwhile, we're over here in we'll just say nighttime in Europe somewhere, and Hawkeye and Black Widow are having a little adventure. And this is kind of a different Hawkeye than we were getting a little bit from Matt Fraction, and it's a different Hawkeye that we've had in previous events. So it's all, and this isn't the Hawkeye that just was Ronin. So this is like a very movie-friendly Hawkeye, very movie-friendly Black Widow. You can kind of hear the Joss Whedon dialogue in here, but also with Bendis. It's an interesting blend. It's a smoothie of comic and movie. So they're doing a little mission, and the bad guys are wheeling out some weird gold canister with red goop in it, and they're immediately attacked by Taurus, who is just going to blow up some stuff and try and steal this thing. In comes Hawkeye and Black Widow, and they're backed up by Iron Man, Thor. So we've got all the core Avengers characters on the table. Taurus is going toe to toe with Thor, and so it's a nice big threat that we have going on. Stuff getting blown up. You don't steal from the Zodiac. So basically, and that's the issue. So we're really pretty light on action, but very movie friendly. The entire idea here is that we're getting a little bit of kind of very, very easy to digest movie stuff. The Avengers are going to assemble again with the Hulk. They're going to fight this Zodiac threat that really isn't a threat, but it's a good excuse to get everybody together in one place. And that's how it's all more or less going to go down. Is it a good issue? I mean, it's like popcorn. It's a very popcorn issue. There's not a lot of meat here. They would do some other stuff in later issues, but generally, this was designed to ease people into the movies. And so as a concept with comics, it's not a bad idea. You're doing a movie, you're putting a lot of budget to it. Why not actually take the extra effort to, do some promotional comics like this? A lot of the tie-ins are really terrible. So this one was definitely much better in terms of providing some real stuff. It did feel like it was still intended to fit within the Avengers universe. At the time, the new Avengers were fighting Norman Osborn's new, mean Avengers, and I think Age of Ultron was really kind of going in. We had Secret Avengers. So you had a bunch of different things. This was very nice if you're just stepping into the Avengers, you don't have a lot of background, and you just want a comic that's easy to consume. It is what it says it is, and that's what you got. Forgettable? Yeah, probably. I mean, it really didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And if you've been following along, I did this one out of sequence because I forgot about it. So it's easy to overlook it, but it still played a role overall in Avengers. And the stuff they were doing with Zodiac was kind of interesting. It didn't ultimately go anywhere, but should have, I think, of really building up more of team threats. But I'm a big Masters of Evil guy. I like the big team threats when they exist. So yeah, a little bit of what you get. Anyway, what do you think of this issue? Do you even remember it? Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, introduce to a friend if you haven't already. That would be very appreciated. Follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch, and thanks for listening.